I am, I guess, interested and also a little surprised on the Brendan Shanahan rumors.
Yeah, so I think you mentioned that a few weeks ago. Like that's someone who would interest you in terms of coming into the organization, and again, makes a lot of sense. A guy who did what is doing well, I would say, in Toronto. Now, some of you might hit back like, "Oh, they suck in the playoffs." That I don't think is in any of his control whatsoever. Like we've seen the Boston Bruins. I keep saying this, put up the best record hockey has ever seen and get bounced in the first round. Like I don't care about you can't get past the second round type of thing. Whatever. His team is always good in the regular season. We can't even get to the goddamn playoffs. Let me get to the playoffs and then we'll see what happens type of thing. And so that's the guy who seems he can do it every year.
And like they have a lot of talent. It's not a talent issue. Maybe it's not cohesive in Toronto, we're seeing, but he would be an interesting choice. I'd be in on it.
Yeah, and a guy who rebuilt that entire organization when he took it over as president of hockey operations. He gutted the scouting department. He gutted their analytics department. And by gutted, I mean like he got rid of people and added a bunch. I don't know how big that analytics department was then because that was a long time ago. It may not have been so huge, but he gutted that. Player development gutted it and redeveloped it to a point where they are a good team in terms of developing some prospects, maybe not as successful as you'd want them to be, but their big stars outside of John Tavares were developed in-house. So that's kind of clutch for them, and a check mark in Brendan Shanahan's let's say CV, if you will, when it comes to taking over as president of hockey operations for these New York Islanders. It'd be huge. It'd be a huge get.
It would, and it's a big name too, and I feel like that matters.
Yeah, and he could very well shake loose. Like Toronto, if they don't get past Florida, although we say this every year, don't we? Big changes are coming.
Yeah, but this is embarrassing. They were up 2-0. They got blown out 6-1 on their home ice. They look done. I don't think they even get it back for a game 7.
Yeah, if Stolarz comes back, maybe, but he's not making the trip to Florida, so I don't think that's going to happen. But you never know with Toronto. We always say that they're going to be, this is the year where the change is going to happen, and it just doesn't. So I know there are rumors around that changes is going to happen, but I'm not going to believe it until I see it. But having someone like Brendan Shanahan would be massively appealing to me. Massively appealing. As a president of hockey operations, which I think is what he wants to do anyways.
Right. And then you think he could potentially hire a GM at that point, or do you think he would do both?
I think he would hire a GM, and maybe he hires a guy that the Islanders have already interviewed, a la Mathieu Darche or Michel Bergevin, but like maybe Mark Hunter wants to come out from London, and because he was next in line to get that Kyle Dubas gig, right? It was either Kyle Dubas or Mark Hunter, and they gave it to Kyle. But Mark Hunter is that sharp mind in terms of prospects, and so if we're looking to get a guy to really kind of sift through, and we'll get to this later, what prospect we need to take in our number 1 overall pick, like this seems like the type of guy you want making that decision.
Yeah, it's a good call out. I agree. I think you'd make a lot of sense for, the draft pedigree.
Yeah, and like look at his London program. They're crapping all over Oshawa right now. Our own Callum Ritchie's just feeling the wrath of the talent that London has put together. Last I checked, they were losing 3-2 in game 5 of the OHL finals, I believe. Let me bring it up here. It is game 5. They're losing 3-2. There's 3 minutes left in the third period. Youch. Or 3 minutes into. I forget how they do it on this app that I've got. But game 5, London's up 3-1. Could be elimination game for our boy Callum Ritchie because of the talent that Mark Hunter and his brother have been able to put together for London. So that seems like a guy who could be on the cusp of getting a GM job in the NHL if he really wants to, and has that Brendan Shanahan connection.
Absolutely. So that'd be someone I'm interested in. What do you make of the Lou rumors?
Okay. I don't friggin' get it, man. I see some rumors out there. I know it's being shared on the Discord right now. Maddie shared from Isles Updates that per staple, Lamoriello will have no role in hockey operations going forward with a new front office. Where is that from exactly? I don't know where Arthur Staples said that.
In an article today.
Which one?
in the one staple who's left the Islanders exec search timeline, what I'm hearing 4.0.
Oh, see, I didn't realize he updated that as of today. I thought that was like yesterday's. Okay.
Yeah,
That was yesterday's.
Maybe he did update it. It's when you get down to the Lou portion, there's a bullet point. It's like the last couple sentences of that.
Will have no role in hockey operations going forward with the new front office, even if he's got a title or Malkin's ear. Okay. I love it. Like, but he's not going to stay on for that, is he?
No. That's why I think we saw him in Buffalo.
Yeah. Do you believe that was actually a picture in Buffalo? I tried to look at all of the images that were on the screen, be like, is that a Buffalo thing? Like MIT or M&T Bank or whatever it was, the ATM that was next to him. I tried to look that up. Is that a Buffalo branch? I don't know. So
I think so. Apparently it was just to renew something for traveling out of the country.
Why would you go to Buffalo for that?
I don't know.
Couldn't you go to any... Well, I don't know, but I assume you don't have to travel to Buffalo to upgrade or renew your Nexus membership, or if that's what you want to call it. I'm pretty sure you can do it at any border crossing where a Nexus network is, right? Like, I don't understand.
That's the closest one.
From where, I guess maybe he lives like really upstate New York in the summer,
right?
Which is why nothing happens. Everything has to happen by carrier pigeon for him.
Well, if you're going up from Long Island, I don't know, maybe kill two birds, one stone on that trip.
I suppose, yeah. Kill both of those carrier pigeons and just do it in person. But it would be ideal for us to have a clean break from Lou Lamoriello. I know there are some who really enjoyed his time here, and that's perfectly fine. And I'm certainly one of them. I enjoyed most of his time here for the Islanders. It's just, if we're going to make a change, don't keep the guy who wants to have absolute control over every decision, including facial hair in the organization. That's just not how change happens, man.
No.
Right?
Correct. You're right.
It just doesn't seem like a good idea. Yeah, have him as an advisor, but this guy has historically said, I don't want to be an advisor. He hasn't taken the Surgeon General's advice, so he's not going to, on not smoking cigarettes. So he's not about to just sit there and do that. He doesn't value that as a position. So he's not going to do it, man.
But he looks cool as shit.
Fair. Winning Lou Lamoriello, 83-year-old, smoking cigarettes still. Although at this point, I've said it before, I'm sure, like, his lungs are half nicotine. Like, he can't stop or else it's just going to kill him.
Correct.
He's just half cigarette at this point. Oh, my God. But those are the big updates, right, in terms of the GM search. We know that they're interviewing Mathieu Darche, Marc Bergevin, and who is the third one that they're definitely... Jarmo Kekalainen.
Yep.
Which we assumed they were doing that anyways, right?
So it's got to be one of those three, I would assume.
Unless they've already interviewed someone, but probably not.
If you like that, make sure to subscribe to Up the Turnpike on Patreon for more exclusive New York Islanders content.